Millions of drivers are flushing money down the drain because of fuel myths that simply won't die. And chances are you've believed at least one of them. From wasting gas every time you start your car, to buying fuel you don't even need, these myths are quietly ruining your engine and your wallet, but not anymore. We're about to expose 15 common fuel lies that cost drivers thousands every year. And make sure you stick around until the end, because myth number 1 is still fooling most drivers and could be the reason your engine's running rough. Let's dive in. Myth number 15. Premium fuel makes any car run better. This is one of the most expensive misunderstandings on the road, and gas stations are profiting from it every day. A lot of drivers think pumping premium fuel into their car is like giving it a performance upgrade. Well, it's not. If your car was built for regular 87 octane, then that's exactly what it needs, nothing more. Using premium is like watering your houseplants with expensive bottled mineral water. It's unnecessary, overpriced, and your engine can't even tell the difference. Premium fuel doesn't mean more horsepower, cleaner emissions, or longer engine life. It simply has a higher resistance to pre-ignition, which only matters in high-compression performance engines. If your vehicle doesn't require premium, that extra 60 cents per gallon does absolutely nothing, except fatten the oil company's profits. In fact, modern engines are so smart that they're designed to run optimally on exactly the fuel type listed in the owner's manual. Not better with premium, not worse with regular, just right. So unless your car specifically says premium required, you're literally burning money for no benefit. And this isn't just about waste. Some drivers think that premium fuel can clean the engine or fix poor performance. That's another myth we'll destroy later. But spoiler alert, it won't. Now, if that sounds like a lot of money burned at the pump, wait until you see the gadgets people are buying next. Myth number 14. Aftermarket gas savers actually work. You've seen the ads. Tiny magnetic rings, fuel ionizers, and vortex boosters that promise to boost your MPG by 30%. Sounds tempting, right? But here's the truth. If a $20 gadget could save you hundreds at the pump, car manufacturers would have built it in decades ago. These devices prey on drivers who want easy fixes. The sellers throw in words like electrostatic optimization and molecular realignment, but none of that means anything in real physics. The EPA and FTC have tested dozens of these so-called gas savers, and almost all of them showed no measurable benefit. Some even hurt performance by restricting airflow or interfering with sensors. Let's be clear, there's no secret magnetic field aligning your fuel. There's no magical turbine swirling horsepower into existence. The only thing spinning is your head when you realize you just spent money on junk science. If you want better mileage, there's no shortcut. Keep your tires inflated, change filters on time, and drive smoother. That's the real fuel saver. And if you think those little gadgets are a waste of money, wait until you hear what drivers are pouring into their tanks, thinking it'll make them faster, cleaner, and more efficient. Myth number 13. Fuel additives dramatically improve mileage. Fuel system cleaners, octane boosters, MPG improvers, you've seen them lined up at every auto parts store, bottles that promise better fuel economy, more power, and a cleaner engine. But here's the reality. Most of them are expensive hype in a fancy plastic bottle. If these additives actually increased fuel economy by 20 or 30% like they claim, gas companies would already be mixing them into every gallon at the pump. Why wouldn't they? It'd instantly make their product more competitive. But they don't, because these magic bottles rarely do what they say. The EPA has tested hundreds of these additives, and almost none provided any measurable improvement in real-world driving. Sure, some name brands like Techron can help clean carbon buildup over time, especially if you've been running poor-quality fuel. But those one-shot miracle bottles claiming instant horsepower gains, pure snake oil. And it gets worse. Some additives contain metallic compounds or unregulated chemicals that can actually damage your oxygen sensors or catalytic converters, leading to costly repairs that wipe out any supposed savings. Want to improve mileage? Forget the gimmicks. The real secret lies in regular oil changes, a clean air filter, healthy spark plugs, and driving like a sane human being. Because there's no liquid miracle in aisle 7. Now, speaking of liquids, here's a habit that's actually wrecking your car's fuel system, and it happens every time you visit the gas station. Myth number 12. Topping off your tank gets you more fuel. Click. That sound from the gas pump is your car saying, "I'm full." But some drivers don't listen. They squeeze in just a little more to round up the dollar amount or stretch that last half gallon. Bad idea. Topping off your tank after the nozzle shuts off doesn't give you more fuel. It can actually damage your car's evaporative emission system. That extra gas can flood the charcoal canister, which is designed to absorb fuel vapors, not liquid. Once it's soaked, you're looking at repairs that can cost from $200 to $600 just because you didn't stop when the pump said so. And here's what most people don't realize. Those extra squeezes, they're often sucked right back into the gas station's vapor recovery system, meaning you paid for gas you never got. It's like tipping the gas station for the privilege of damaging your car. This myth persists because it feels like you're getting just a bit more for your money. But what you're really doing is shortening the life of your emission system. risking a check engine light, and possibly spilling fuel onto the ground. So next time the pump clicks, listen. Stop right there. Your engine, your wallet, and your environment will all thank you. Now, let's shift gears to something a lot of people still believe, especially in summer. Myth number 11. Turning off the AC saves tons of gas. We've all heard it. Turn off the AC to save fuel. Just roll down the windows. Sounds logical, right? Less strain on the engine means better fuel economy. But the science tells a different story, and it depends entirely on how and where you're driving. At low speeds, like in city traffic or residential neighborhoods, rolling down your windows might save you a tiny amount, maybe 1 to 2% on fuel usage. But once you hit highway speeds, those open windows turn your car into a sail. The extra aerodynamic drag causes your engine to work harder, ultimately burning more fuel than running the AC would have. And modern AC systems, they're not the gas hogs they used to be. Thanks to variable displacement compressors and advanced climate controls, most systems today only reduce your fuel economy by about 1 to 3%. That's barely 1 mile per gallon. So instead of sweating through your summer commute trying to save a few drops of fuel, just enjoy the comfort. You're not gaining anything by suffering, and you might actually be losing more than you think. But while you're at the pump thinking about cool air, there's another myth that's just as persistent, and it has everything to do with when you refuel. Myth number 10. Filling up in the morning gets you more fuel. This one sounds scientific, and that's why it fools so many people. The idea is that cooler morning temperatures make gasoline denser, so you supposedly get more fuel molecules per gallon if you fill up early. But here's the catch. Gasoline is stored underground, where temperatures stay stable 24/7. Most underground tanks maintain a consistent temperature of around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, regardless of whether it's 6 a.m. or 3 p.m. That means the cooler gas is denser theory falls apart immediately. Even if surface air temperature changes drastically, it has almost zero effect on the fuel below. In fact, the difference you'd save, or if there was one, might be 1 penny per tank. Not worth setting your alarm early or rushing to the pump before the sun comes up. Gas stations also use temperature compensating equipment to make sure you're getting a consistent volume, no matter the weather. So unless you're filling up directly from a fuel truck parked in the sun, you can forget this myth. Instead of stressing over when you fill up, focus on how you drive and where you get your gas. Speaking of which, let's bust a myth that could be quietly wrecking your fuel system over time. Myth number 9. All gas stations have the same quality fuel. Gas is gas, they say. But that lazy phrase could end up costing you big overtime. While most gasoline comes from the same regional refineries, what gets added after that makes a massive difference. Major brands like Shell, Chevron, and Exxon use proprietary detergent additive packages that meet or exceed top-tier fuel standards. These additives help keep your fuel system, injectors, and intake valves cleaner, reducing carbon buildup that can rob your engine of power and efficiency over time. In fact, automakers like Toyota, Honda, BMW, and GM all recommend using top-tier gas for a reason. AA ran an independent test and found that engines using non-top-tier gas had up to 19 times more carbon deposits after just 4,000 miles. That buildup can reduce fuel economy by up to 4 to 5%, decrease throttle response, and increase emissions. Now, we're not saying discount gas will instantly kill your car, but over years of use, that savings at the pump can easily turn into a $500 to $1,000 fuel system cleaning job. So no, all gas is not created equal. A few extra cents per gallon now could save you hundreds later. But what about when that fuel runs low? Is it really that bad to drive around on empty? Myth number 8. Running on empty damages your fuel pump. We've all heard it. Never let your tank drop below a quarter. You'll burn out your fuel pump. It's one of the most passed down pieces of car advice. But is it really true? Well, yes and no. Modern fuel pumps are submerged in the gas tank, and they rely on the surrounding fuel to stay cool during operation. If you constantly run your tank near empty, you're exposing the pump to more heat, and over time, that can reduce its lifespan. But one emergency, one long stretch of road between gas stations, that won't destroy your fuel pump. The real problem is making a habit of running low. Another overlooked risk is sediment. Over time, debris can settle at the bottom of your tank. When fuel levels are low, that gunk is more likely to be sucked into the system. While most modern cars have fine fuel filters, it still increases wear and tear. And if that filter gets clogged, you're looking at performance issues or injector damage. So no, running on empty isn't an instant death sentence for your pump, but regularly doing it, that's like never drinking water and expecting your kidneys to be fine. Still, there's another smart trick people swear by, but it turns out it's not just wrong, it might be illegal in your state. Myth number 7. Coasting in neutral saves fuel. Shifting into neutral while going downhill might feel like a clever way to beat the system. You're not pressing the gas, so you must be saving fuel, right? Wrong. And dangerously so. In modern fuel-injected vehicles, when you take your foot off the gas and coast in gear, your car's computer activates something called Deceleration Fuel Cutoff, DFCO. It essentially tells the engine, We're coasting? Great. Shut off the fuel injectors. Result? You're burning virtually zero fuel. But shift into neutral? Now the engine has to burn fuel to stay idling with about 0.2 to 0.5 gallons per hour just to keep running. So instead of saving gas, you're actually wasting it. Even worse, you're putting yourself at risk. Coasting in neutral reduces engine braking, delays your response time in an emergency, and gives you less control over the vehicle. That's why it's illegal in many US states. Not just foolish, but a ticket-worthy move. This myth made sense decades ago, back in the carburetor era, when engines burned fuel no matter what. But modern cars are smarter and safer when you let them coast in gear. So keep it in drive, let gravity help, and let your ECU do the smart work. Now let's talk about a fuel that's misunderstood almost everywhere. One that's praised, feared, and wrongly blamed for engine problems. Myth number 6, E85 is just watered-down gasoline. To some drivers, E85 sounds like cheap, diluted gas that ruins your engine and destroys your mileage. You've probably heard someone call it corn juice, like it's some kind of scam fuel. But the truth is, E85 is just misunderstood. E85 is a blend of 85% ethanol and 15% gasoline, and it's not watered down. It's actually higher octane than regular fuel. In fact, E85 typically ranges from 100 to 105 octane, making it ideal for high-performance engines that can take advantage of it. That's why so many race teams love it. It allows for more aggressive tuning and higher compression without knocking. Yes, E85 produces fewer miles per gallon because ethanol contains about 30% less energy than gasoline per volume. But it also costs less per gallon, and when used in vehicles specifically designed for it, called flex fuel vehicles or FFVs, it performs just fine. These vehicles have upgraded fuel systems with special seals and materials to handle the alcohol content. Where the myth turns dangerous is when people claim E85 damages engines. That's only true if you use it in a car not designed for it. But in a flex fuel vehicle, E85 is perfectly safe, efficient, and even cleaner burning than traditional gasoline. So no, E85 isn't trash fuel. It's not some back alley blend of watered down gas. It's just different. And if your car was built to run on it, it can be a smart and powerful choice. Now, speaking of outdated ideas, this next myth refuses to die, and it's probably draining your wallet every few months. Myth number 5, changing your oil every 3,000 miles saves your engine and fuel. This is the zombie myth of the car world. No matter how many times it's debunked, it just won't die. Somewhere out there, a sticker from a quick lube shop is telling you to come back in 3,000 miles, and your wallet is quietly weeping. Here's the truth. Modern synthetic oils and engines are designed to last 7.5 to 10,000 miles between oil changes, sometimes even longer, depending on your driving habits and manufacturer specs. The 3,000-mile rule is an outdated relic from a time when oil technology was primitive and engines were dirtier. So where did it come from? Profit. Quick lube chains rely on fast turnover and repeat customers. Convincing people to change their oil 2 to 3 times more often than necessary is one of the oldest upsells in the book, and it adds up in both wasted money and wasted oil. But what about fuel economy? Yes, clean oil helps your engine run smoother, but the difference between 3,000 and 7,500 miles with modern synthetic oil is so minor, you'd never notice it at the pump. You're not gaining efficiency, you're just changing oil that isn't even dirty yet. Want to know how really change your oil properly? Check our video about oil change myths, and always check your car manual. And now for the myth that still fools even experienced drivers and costs hundreds every year with zero actual benefit. Myth number 4, premium gas will clean your engine and fix problems. This is the granddaddy of all fuel myths, and gas stations love it. You've probably seen someone at the pump, car running rough, staring at the premium nozzle like it's some kind of miracle cure. But let's set the record straight. Premium gas is not engine medicine. Premium fuel has one job: to prevent knock, also called pre-ignition, in high compression engines. That's it. It doesn't have magical detergents. It won't fix your rough idle, clean your fuel injectors, or stop your check engine light from glowing like a Christmas tree. If your car doesn't require premium, using it is like buying overpriced bottled water to flush your toilet. And here's the kicker. All grades of fuel at a given station contain the same detergent packages. The cleaning agents are the same in regular, mid-grade, and premium. The difference is octane, not cleanliness. This myth survives because it preys on desperation. Your car starts acting weird, you don't want to go to the shop yet, so you reach for the fancy gas thinking it'll help. But all you're doing is burning 40 to 60 cents more per gallon for absolutely nothing. If your engine's running rough, it needs diagnostics, not higher octane. That extra $10 per tank? Put it toward an actual repair or scan tool, something that makes a real difference. But speaking of old school beliefs, there's one more myth that's burned into gearhead brains, and it might be costing you more than premium ever will. Myth number 3, manual transmissions always get better gas mileage. Ah yes, the classic car guy claim, stick shift saves gas. That may have been true in the 1980s, but in today's world of high-tech drivetrains, not anymore. Modern automatic transmissions have evolved into precision machines. We're talking 8, 9, and even 10-speed gearboxes that constantly adapt to your driving style and road conditions. Many even feature lock-up torque converters and computerized shift logic that hits the perfect gear faster than any human ever could. In fact, if you check the EPA fuel economy ratings, you'll often see the automatic version of the same vehicle getting 2 to 3 miles per gallon, better than its manual twin. That's because today's automatics are engineered for efficiency, constantly managing RPM, throttle input, and even terrain. Manuals still offer driving enjoyment, no doubt, but saving gas? Unless you're hypermiling like a monk, you're probably not gaining anything and might even be burning more. So unless you're rocking a vintage Civic or driving purely for the joy of shifting, your left leg might be working harder than your wallet. Now, if that one surprised you, the next myth is even worse. A winter ritual drivers swear by that's quietly costing them gas, engine life, and time. Myth number 2, warming up your car saves fuel. It's freezing outside, your windshield's frosted over, and your instinct kicks in. Start the car, let it idle for 5 or 10 minutes to warm it up. Feels like the responsible thing to do, right? It's not, it's a waste. Unless you're driving a classic car with a carburetor, warming up your engine by idling is not only outdated, it's actively burning fuel for no reason. Modern engines are fuel injected and computer controlled, which means they adjust automatically to cold temperatures. They don't need long idle times to run properly. In fact, idling your car in cold weather can actually hurt your engine. While it runs cold, extra fuel is injected into the cylinders, which can wash away the protective oil film on cylinder walls, increasing wear. Cold idling also means your catalytic converter stays cold longer, leading to more emissions and less efficiency. So what's the best way to warm up your engine? Check our video about 6 cold start mistakes in upper right corner, and you will know exactly how to prolong your car life in winter. Most important, long warm-ups don't save your engine, they shorten its life and drain your tank. But if you thought that was inefficient, this next myth turns your car's brains against itself on long drives. Myth number 1, cruise control always saves gas. This is the myth that sounds smart, and on perfectly flat highways, it even works. But here's the part most drivers don't realize. Cruise control isn't clever. It's consistent, not efficient. And that difference can quietly cost you fuel on every drive. When you're using cruise on rolling hills or variable terrain, your car becomes a robot obsessed with speed. It doesn't care about saving fuel. It cares about maintaining the exact miles per hour you set. So when you hit an incline, cruise control reacts by slamming the throttle, pouring in fuel to keep speed. A human driver, on the other hand, would naturally let the car slow a bit uphill and speed up a bit downhill, saving fuel using gravity and momentum. The result? Cruise control can use 5 to 10% more fuel on hilly roads than a conscious, efficient driver. And it gets worse. When you crest a hill, cruise doesn't ease off the gas like a human would. It stays in control until it's too late. And that means more fuel, less efficiency, and zero common sense. Now, adaptive cruise control in newer vehicles is smarter. Some systems use GPS or cameras to anticipate terrain, but even those can't match the instinct of a driver who knows how to coast, ease into hills, and work with the road instead of against it. So while cruise control is great for reducing fatigue and maintaining speed, it's not always your fuel-saving hero. In fact, in the wrong setting, it's a fuel-wasting villain. So there you have it, 15 fuel myths that could be silently draining your wallet and ruining your engine. Which one caught you off guard? Drop it in the comments. And if you've heard other fuel-saving hacks, let's bust them together. And if you thought these were shocking, wait until you see the oil change myths costing drivers thousands every year. Click here to watch that video next. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you never fall for bad car advice again. Drive smart, save fuel, and take care of your ride.